Hello, Beverly.
Hi there.
Hello. All right, well, let's call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Easthampton Historical Commission, August 12th, 2020. And the first order of business is the public speak. I don't believe we have any public to speak, so anybody else have anything to say that's not on the agenda? No? Okay.
No.
The 8th, 27th, and 3rd, I can't, the replays aren't up on the site. I looked today again, and they're still not there, so.
Are you looking at the Easthampton Media website, or are you looking at their YouTube page?
Government page. It usually links there.
Yeah, so I've noticed that they're posting things on their YouTube page much faster than they're updating their website.
Okay, they have a YouTube page. It's news.
Yeah. So if you click on one of their old videos, you'll get to their YouTube. It's like Easthampton Media.
Easthampton Media.
Let's see.
All right. I will check all that out, and when I do, I will put those minutes together and send them out. We're a little bit behind. We only got 3 meetings. This will be number 4. So. All right, correspondence. Do we have anything, Jamie?
I'm just going to follow up email from the people at the state regarding the grant. So we can talk about that during at that agenda item.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, so the survey and planning grant, Main Street Extension Area Inventory, preliminary target list of 100 resources. How are we doing?
So we talked about this, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And then I don't know if anyone had gone in to the spreadsheet that I shared to sort of confirm with me.
No.
I did a little bit, but then I didn't want to change what people had already written.
Okay.
So if someone wrote yes or question mark, I added my 2 cents if I had a different opinion. And
yeah, so I guess I was looking for people to, let me, I'm going to share the screen.
okay.
Can everyone see this list? So what I have here is a list of the 600 or so parcels with either already inventoried or with buildings, with structures older than built before 1971. And then I went through and just tried to find the oldest buildings that were not already inventoried, and probably going up to about 1920 or so. And then I marked them based off of, I went using Google Street View and just tried to get a sense of like whether or not that building looked like it had been had significant exterior modifications, or if it was still close to what I kind of thought that building from that style should look like. Mm-hmm. And then so the column X, which is the flag for inventory, has my recommendations based off of that sort of process. You can see at the top there's about 70 that I flagged as we should update. Or 71 that I thought we should inventory. 23 I flagged as we should update. They have existing inventories, and I thought we should update them. Primarily, those were properties that were owned by Williston Northampton. And then no's were based off of my just sort of guessing, and then the maybes were where I didn't know if we should look into them or not. So I was hoping to get some feedback regarding what people thought using the column Y, which was whether or not people agreed with that, with my recommendation. And then once we get that done, then we can start the process of getting the RFQ together and putting that out.
So just to clarify, because I hadn't understood that, in the Y column, you want us to go through and say whether we concur or not?
Correct. So I put some conditional formatting into it. So if we take this first one, the maybe here, 17 Center Street, if someone thought it should be inventoried and they type yes, it'll change that whole line. Or if it goes to a no, it'll remove that. Maybe, I guess, there's no point to putting a maybe if there's already a maybe there, but I didn't know how we want to go about to actually confirm.
Right.
We're looking at total 100 resources, and I don't know how many the cemetery is going to count for.
Right. Do we have to be super specific at this point, or?
That's my understanding, that we need to have that list of 100 resources as part of the RFQ.
Oh, Jamie, I apologize because I misunderstood how I was supposed to do it, and I only did it for a chunk of buildings and addresses, but I did it on the x-axis, on the X category, which is why I did not negate what you wrote, but what if you wrote maybe, I wrote maybe, comma, yes, or whatever, because I didn't know that that's what the other category and Y was for. So if you go down to, like, I don't know, Prospect or Pleasant or High, I know I did some there, but I didn't get to finish. So can you see down there where it says maybe yes and maybe yes?
Okay.
So I apologize, and I can fix that. I'm sorry. I'll do that. I'm sorry. I didn't understand that the Y category changed that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how clear I was trying to explain it because, I don't know that I had really made this spreadsheet when we last met.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. I didn't want to take over what your opinion was with my opinion, which is why I just.
Right. Well, yeah. So this is good. So I don't know if other people have thought that we want to try to do this in the meeting now, or if people want to take some time and do this on their own and we can talk about it again later.
Well, we got to get this rolling, right?
Yeah.
So why don't, I'm sure we can do a little bit today anyways.
Okay.
The only problem is this is a little, or is it my eyes that it makes it fuzzy?
Well, okay. I don't know if it's, in my 2 cents is that I don't know if it's productive for all of us to do this at the same time, each, unless we're each doing a section on our own screens. Because, for instance, the neighborhood that I live in, I went around and I took photographs and really looked at all the houses before I started to go to this Excel sheet that Jamie made, but I didn't have time to finish. So I don't know, I don't know if it's the best use of our time as a group to be doing one at a time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm willing to work on it afterwards as well, and would assume that would be our best bet. I agree with Mike. We need to get going, but I'm assuming if we go through it individually, that'd be best.
And I don't know if we want to divide it up or whether everyone just wants to do as much as they can on their own.
I mean, I think it would be, let's, if we were to divide it up, I think the streets that are primarily being looked at, Union Street and Pleasant Street. Park Street has a lot of them on it.
Park Street has what?
Main Street also has a bunch of them. So I don't know if it makes sense to split it up, but it might be faster. So I like that idea to split it up more.
I think it would be faster to split them up and, take certain streets.
Should we just take sections of the streets alphabetically, or do people have an idea about how to split it up equitably?
I guess
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I sort of liked what Nora was getting at, was just sort of the streets that people are familiar with, the streets in your neighborhood. But probably not everyone lives in the area, so.
I'm outside the whole area, so I wouldn't mind getting assigned a certain area.
Well, we could just do it numerically and just divide it by a group of us.
Yeah, or we can just, yeah, I guess it's hard to know, just looking at the spreadsheet.
Are we looking at the 111 maybes?
Well, yeah, but also if there was something in here that was clearly, like, we need 100 total, so I don't know how we get from this 600 resources to 100.
Let's back up one thing. You got 71 yeses. Yeses as far as their inventory?
Yeses as far as I think that they were...
That they should be...
That we should inventory them. Based off of where they're located, and like I said, that sort of Wall Street view of what the house.
So you think those 71 should be part of the 100? That
was my recommendation.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Which means we're really only like 30 away, assuming, and I believe this would be the case, that Jamie, you're not like radically off your rocker about what should be included. I'm gonna guess you're pretty spot on.
Well, I mean, there are questions about, like, there's buildings from 1800 versus like newer buildings. We have one of the buildings that I thought was interesting was the Att Switching building on Railroad Ave, which is just old enough to qualify for inventory. It's outside of what anything we've ever done before. In my opinion, it's an ugly building, but it is a unique historic.
So maybe we are looking at what you did and just making sure we don't think we have a better idea or disagree or confirm. But then, again, it means we're not really trying to come up with 100 probably, although between the 5 of us wouldn't be that terrible. But
right. And if we got to 180, we'd then have to figure out how we're narrowing it down to the 100. But I assume that some of the maybes are actually no's, and some of the yeses might also be no's.
well, there are 6 of us, and you said there's 600 roughly. I mean, should we just each take 100 and have a look at them?
Sure. I will go for it. What's everyone's availability to be able to do this?
Availability, meaning?
Like how quickly? Or, I mean, I know it's sort of.
Well, why don't we take Jamie off the hook since she did all this work already? So.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, I can start looking tonight. I would assume I could.
20 apiece if we do 5 ways. Did we lose Tracy?
Yeah, I could do some tomorrow.
I just didn't see your name up there.
Yep.
With the new configuration.
I'm here.
You can't see this, so I thought you disappeared. I hear you though.
No. Can't see anything now.
Yeah.
Do you have access to all this, Tracy?
No.
You don't have access to the Excel sheet that Jamie sent?
Most likely, yeah. I just have to go through and open it
Cool.
in the email.
So do we want to just make it easy
you
by
need is
picking numbers?
A print up.
Well, you don't want to print it ideally because you want to update it live on the web. But Tracy, you've got the internet, right?
No, I have it on my phone, but not a computer at the moment.
Okay, I see.
That's the issue.
So again, we could take larger numbers, keeping in mind we're only looking to hit around 100, right? If we go over 100, we're going to have to pull it down. So we don't really need to keep going radically once we hit 100. And Jamie, does it tally them up? Do we have a running tabulation there? Is that a...
I did some conditional formatting. The top of column X and top of column Y will update with the total numbers that we're at.
Which means we'll know once we get there. So any of us working simultaneously, once we're, I don't know, I'm guessing we might say 110 or something just to give a little buffer, but we don't have to, in other words, like if Tracy can't work on it, and I agree, Jamie, you've already done enough, and the rest of us go through, but instead of worrying about, did we go through everything other than if there's something you want to make sure it's included, once we hit the magic number, I'm guessing we could call it good.
Yeah, and in that case, I think that, what I would like people to focus on first would be like Union Street, Main Street. Pleasant Street isn't really in our inventory area, and neither really is Northampton Street. So we could pick those areas. I've kind of just included them a little bit just because some of the side streets kind of come into them, or where we have a large number of inventory properties on those streets. Maybe it just made sense to kind of fill it in a little bit.
I can't see this whole thing, so I can't tell where these. Okay, here we go. Thank you. What's Boylston Company? Okay, yeah. All right. Thanks.
And then I tried to also include things where they were demolished, where we had inventory properties that I think were demolished, but I wasn't sure. Obviously, I know 32 Payson was demolished. I know that's the police station now.
Easthampton Town Hall livery stables. Interesting.
Well, does it make it simple if I just say I'll take 1 through 100, or how do we want to do it?
Yeah. I mean, if that's fine.
Or do we want to just have people focus on the maybes?
What's that?
If we want people to just focus on the maybes and sort of take my recommendation as is,
Yeah, I mean, we could do that too. I mean, I kind of, I'd like a couple eyes on each one, you know, anyways. And if you want to just, how many maybes do you have?
they're about 111.
11?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of them are going to go quick, some of them probably not.
And again, one good thing about the Google Doc is we'll see those updates immediately.
Right.
So even if we're all working simultaneously, at some point that X column is going to say 100 yeses. Again, my suggestion is we just round that out to some nice, like, 100 and a dozen, and you can keep going if you're inclined, or there's something you really felt like I wanted to make sure about, or you can say, okay, we've got our 100 and we're done.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good. You see that former Easthampton private hospital building?
That was in, where was that?
It's like the one right, it's second house in from Manchester's, the rental center.
On the left or on the right?
That would be on the right if you're heading down Chapman. The house is original, except the porches, some of the porches have been removed, and you can still see the original outline of it. It's not really much to look at now, but it's kind of like, that's kind of a neat former use.
That's really interesting.
One of those houses had a murder in it too, so that's. Yeah, I think if we focus on the maybes, use as many as you can. I don't know. Should we add a column to say that people looked at it? They could check it off or whatever.
well, so that's the Y. If people just make their notations in the Y column,
Okay.
then that would be the way to do it. And then why don't we say, like, if you're sure and if you're sure, make it a yes. If you're not sure, either leave it blank or put in a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're sure that it's not something we should inventory, put it in as a no. And
We can put in comments, right? I mean, it's.
yeah, and then so if people use column Y for the concurring flag for inventory and the column Z for comments, we should be able to sort of bang through this real quick.
Okay. The only thing I was thinking with the additional, if somebody just looked at it and wasn't thinking yes or no, but kind of looked at it, I mean, you don't really know how many people have eyes on it already. And I guess that'll be fine though. I think we can use it that way.
Yeah, I guess if someone was like, looks at 17 Center Street and still doesn't know, then like either make it a maybe.
Yeah.
And we can go back and we can look at those afterwards.
Okay.
But it'd be, I think it'd be really helpful if we can just get some concurring sort of votes on whether or not it's yes or no.
Should we try to state a deadline? Would that make things more comfortable or less? Like, say, by such and such?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we've been getting emails from our grant coordinator at the state about this. They wanted us to have put out the RFQ last week already. So we're already a bit behind from where the state wants us to be on this grant. We do have a pretty short implementation period. We're like unable to get the money comes from the National Park Service, and they don't like to grant the state extensions, so the state doesn't grant us extensions. And that's a long-winded way of me saying, if we can do this like last week, that'd be great.
Oh, we should have this done. Is by tomorrow night too unrealistic for everybody?
Let's say if we can get to it by give people the weekend. So
Monday?
Okay. So by Monday,
Sunday night?
yeah, Sunday night.
and that way, Monday morning I can take a look at it and see where we're at, and if
Fair enough.
we have
It's a deal.
and so if we need to discuss it, maybe the commission can authorize Mike and I to just sort of go from like on Monday if we're still short, just to make sort of executive choices on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that works.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sunday.
I lost you guys for a minute. Something was happening with my internet. I didn't hear what Nora was saying.
I don't think I said anything.
Bev,
Okay.
did you get just that? We're going to try to each of us have our bit done by Sunday night. So come Monday morning, we should be good.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I've been-
Let's just, I don't know if people want to sort of have a target of looking at around 100 of them, but if you're feeling particularly motivated and you want to do more, like, feel free. And if you're having trouble doing it and you can't get to it, then that's fine. And we'll just, there'll be some overlap, but I don't know how everyone's technology, if people would need to actually go out and look at these in the field, or if people would be sitting at their computers doing this.
I'm going to Google Earth it.
Okay.
I'm going to go out in the field and I'm going to print out the listing and take it with me and then put it in afterwards.
Okay.
I won't do it on my phone and I can't take my iPad with me.
I just went out and took pictures but I obviously did not do all of these. So I'll figure it out for the others.
All right. Well,
Okay, so
Beverly, why don't we assign, since you're going to be printing that out and working in hard copy, do you want to just, we can just assign you a bunch so that way, like, you don't get to it and then find that someone else already did it?
Fine.
So, do you have a preference of what neighborhoods you want to walk through?
Well, probably Pleasant Street, Chapman Avenue area.
Okay.
okay, so yeah, so what, you're talking like High Prospect and Chapman?
Yeah.
Yeah, close. Okay, it sounds fair enough.
I'm going to just write in the concurring flag for inventory. I'm just going to put your name, Beverly, for High Street, Chapman, and
High Chapman Prospect, maybe.
High Street, Chapman Street, and Prospect, you said?
Yeah, I think there's a small one in there too, Summer Street.
Yeah, and a little dead end street off of
Yeah.
Yeah.
High Chapman Prospect.
How about Tracy? Do we want to do the same thing for him?
That's a good idea.
Since he doesn't have the,
I would say maybe no, because he can't enter it into the Google Doc. At
Oh,
least
that's
Bev
right.
can go back home and post it. How would Tracy?
Well, I don't know. Good question,
I
John.
don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you know, he could
Beverly,
notes or whatever, just to, you know, at least get some input, maybe. But that's not a huge deal. How does Tracy feel about it?
I mean, I'm not too happy about it, but I mean, I just have to figure out a way. I mean, I don't want to be having to go. I just have to get a computer soon.
Why can't someone just do a printout for him and he could do the same as I'm doing and someone else could input it?
Yeah, you could just, you know, get it back to me or whatever.
You can do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that for you. I'll make
Thank you.
a copy.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
Tracy, what neighborhoods do you want to walk through?
I could stay in. I can do Cottage. I can do Holyoke Street. Anywhere in the Briggs Street area.
That's a little far off, right?
Yeah.
Or I can go closer. Wherever you need me to go, I can go.
You want to look at maybe the center street and, you know, like kind of down towards that end, but
That's like,
Center Street.
yeah,
Center Street.
center.
And what else?
I believe that would be maybe Payson. That's on here.
Okay.
Right?
That's sort of where we were before.
Yeah, kind of like where we walked.
Yeah. Okay.
what's your center, Payson, Union?
Center, Payson.
Bella?
There's not a whole lot there, but railroad. There's just two buildings. And School Street. Tell you what, I'll make a copy.
Make a copy, and then,
we'll
I mean, I'm writing this stuff down right now, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Here, see, I got you for Center, Payson, School Street, and
Union and Railroad.
Union and Railroad.
Union and Railroad, okay.
Union Railroad. And look at Liberty, too. You're right there. Right across
Liberty?
the railroad, yeah. That's not a ton of houses there anyway, so.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else on that, Jamie?
Or Union, Railroad, and Liberty, you said?
What's that?
Union, Railroad,
Liberty.
Liberty.
School, Payson.
Payson Ave, School, Liberty, Center.
All right, so
Center, yep.
so on that spreadsheet now, the concurrent column has Beverly and Tracy on them, and then the ones that don't have anyone's names in it would just be sort of up for grabs.
Okay. That sounds good.
And then as you, Tracy and Beverly, as you update, just replace your sort of vote with their name.
Okay.
Or replace your name with your vote. Cool.
All right. Do you want to talk about the project scope of work? She's got it on the agenda here.
No, I was just carrying it through from the last one. I don't have anything specific to add about the other two.
We don't need to. We need to discuss any of the rest of this.
Not right now. I think this is sort of the most important piece of it.
Okay. demo, we got now, I'm going to go off topic here just slightly. We have the demo on that Williston building.
Yeah, 2 Payson Lane.
Payson Lane.
The public hearing has been set for September 9th. And the newspaper ad's been placed, and abutter notices will go out in a week. Yeah, hopefully everyone can make it to that virtual hearing on the 9th.
Okay. That would be good. As far as the demo delay bylaw, I think I'm still spinning my wheels right there, so not a whole lot to talk about. Unless somebody has some suggestions at this point or whatever, or ideas. More comments?
I guess, Mike, I was thinking about, it might be helpful if we can just take a copy of the current demo delay bylaw.
Current bylaw?
And maybe I can put it up, maybe I'll put it up, if I can put it up as a shared document.
Mm-hmm.
And we can make comments and kind of start working on it as a shared document. And that way might help to sort of, we can like, we don't have to have the proposal, but we could be like, this is a problem. We need to change how this works, or, and then that maybe can work as a way to get the.
Right. Yeah, I could do that. I'll give you some materials, maybe an outline, and besides the current document.
Okay.
What I'm kind of trying to look towards. Okay. So, number 7, the canal. We have no news on the canal at this point. Next meeting is 20th, I believe.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to hop on that bus, it's at 3 o'clock on August 20th.
And that'll also be, at that meeting, the Northampton has spent a bunch of time digitizing the canal route and overlaying it on top of current assessors maps, which is a piece of what we need for that project, is to know exactly where the canal route was. So it might be an interesting, if people want to join in, it might be an interesting meeting. Pardon.
Hopefully it will be. But yeah, definitely encourage anybody that's interested to join in.
Yeah. Mike, do you want to, when we get the Zoom meeting info for it, do you want to forward that out?
Yeah, we haven't gotten that email yet, right?
No, they usually give it to us a day or two in advance.
And what day? You said that's the 20th of August?
20th, yeah, 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock? Okay. Right.
Okay. Schedule the next meeting. It should be we're talking the 9th, unless we want one in between, or 2. Should we schedule something for Monday evening?
This Monday?
Or sometime on Monday, like kind of maybe a subcommittee meeting?
Yeah. Do we want, is anyone around Monday evening?
Monday?
Yeah.
Would everyone want to have a brief meeting on Monday to go through the list?
Yeah.
After we get everyone's input,
Sure.
Make a final call on it.
6 o'clock?
Let me just double check that there's no other scheduled meetings. Yeah, we're good. We're gonna do Monday at 6.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. And at that point, we can, You want to look ahead, we'll also have a meeting on September 9th, right?
Yep.
Public hearing. Okay.
Mike, do you want me to file the agenda for Monday?
Yeah, that would be good. I will, well, talk to you before then, I hope.
Yeah.
As long as the world doesn't stop spinning. Yeah, okay, so we just need a, anybody have anything else, questions or anything? Comments?
Bob, just about Bob the Builder behind you. But
Oh, you
that's,
like that, huh?
yeah, that's about it.
That's my, well, I don't know exactly which kid it belonged to, but it came with me here. It's good to sit out on the deck with. Like, look at that, there's a dog.
Oh.
That's the new baby.
What's her
Nice.
name or his name?
Well, we haven't decided.
Oh, okay.
We just had her since last Wednesday, and we're still working things out.
You just say, hey, dog.
Huh?
You just say, hey, dog.
Hey, dog. Hey, dog.
She came with the name Moana, which I think is a little awkward, so we're trying to come up with something else.
Yeah, any syllables.
Yeah, 2 syllables.
Billy.
Lana.
Mint Milano. Come on, sorry.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
I second.
Okay, all in favor? Hey,
Aye.
Aye.
I.
Aye.
aye. All right, very good.
All right.
Right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Go
Everyone,
through that
take
list.
care, everyone.
Get it in there by Sunday.